Good morning, folks. It's about 7:15 on November the 14th. I think it's the 14th anyway. It's around that. 2024. Lovely mild weather. So this wee tractor won't lift a full bale off the ground, even if you had a spike on the front. I haven't got the spike anyway, but she's not fit to lift it. She'll lift it up about a foot off the ground or 2 foot and then stops. So we have to bring our feeder down. Now we leave as much plastic down at the bottom to keep the bale in one piece. Now this week's little story features the local blacksmith, and in every little hamlet and village there was a blacksmith before the time tractors became popular. The horse did everything, so you had the shoe, the horse, the blacksmith made the farm implements. And indeed in Glasstreet here there's an old blacksmith's shop down at McGoldrick's farm, just down the road from me, couple of fields away. And a few fields over on the other side we go into the townland of Ballyesborough, and they had a blacksmith there. And I was trimming round his property, it was up for sale, and I was trimming around it the other day, and the owner was down showing me what to do. So he just started to talk about the history of the little place. So it's just a minute or two, here it is, and here's a few little facts about the blacksmith. And the little local shop that was there too.
I'm standing here in the centre of Ballyesborough village, beside the old smithy where Hugh Filson worked most of his life. My father bought the place in the mid-30s, and we then converted the smithy into a pig house. Where you see that old roof light, that's where the chimney went up through, the old forge bit. For my dad kept half a dozen sows and a few cattle at that time, and I remember him saying he paid £300 for it. Across the road here is Waycott's shop. It is no longer a shop, it's now been turned into a dwelling. It has been lying for near 20 years. Hugh Filson carried on his work here for a while my dad and them had bought it, and then they moved to Kirkcudbright. And I remember going with Vincent Quinn, who lived in the farm here beside us, to get a harrow fixed. Now, I can't actually remember the location in Kirkcudbright that it was. It's probably not there anymore now anyway. This here was a wee adjoining building. There was a place here for a byre for 2 cows. And this here was a pig house. As you can see, it's ancient stonework as well. Fixed the old house up in 1990. It had a corrugated iron roof on it, and then below the concrete iron roof was thatch. And we took it all off and put a new truss roof, replastered in and out, so brought it up to today's standard. And when we were renovating the house, we discovered that half of the house had been built with clay. And that had been seemingly been built away in the 1770 or something. That meant somebody saying that was the date. Just take this fella here out and get in the shop with you.
My recollection of Waycott shop in Ballyasborough was Terry and I, as two wee boys, walking up Martin's Brae and coming up to the shop, a quaint wee shop, and a half door, and when you went in, the bell rang, and you got your penny or tuppence worth of sweeties or something on a wee paper poke, and there was Meta and another sister. I don't recollect her name now, but they were nice old people, and that was my first recollection of Waycott's. Meta Waycott's shop, you know, that was the Ballyasborough supermarket in its day. You know, they did papers and oil and sweets, tobacco, the kind of general things that were required in the day, maybe candles or whatever it was for the household, and the papers. But when they closed up, the papers were left at my Uncle George Palmer's and Ballyasborough at the bottom of Martin's Lane. This film, Ivan, this film has been interrupted here by a mad Highland man from Scotland. Yeah. And I don't know how I'm going to get rid of him. He'll want money, but I don't know whether you're willing to pay it or not.
This is going to cost them.
What are you doing there, boy? And on occasions we've been sent up to Waycott's shop to get cigarettes for Hugh Colwell, who worked in our farm at harvest time. And that was a big occasion, because you got the down on Hugh's bike to go up to Waycott to get the sweets, to get the cigarettes. And on occasions as well, when we maybe went over to stay overnight with my granda Palmer in Ballyasborough, my Uncle George and Herbie Martin and Robert Martin, they would have played Ludo. And we would, as two wee boys, would have sat up the stairs while they were playing, and it was great when Robert Martin came in, because he always had sweets in his pocket, and they were out of Waycott's shop, and Robert would have opened the bag and said, "Well, what colour of bar do you want? You want a black one or a snippet one or a green one? What colour do you want?" And he would have threw them up to you at the stairs. My recollections of Herbie Martin was, when I was younger on the van with Lawrence would have bought cattle and dealt with Herbie, buying and selling cattle. And then when he retired, I was in the van, and I would have bought pigs of Herbie and maybe dealt with him. Maybe took maybe a week or 10 days to get the deal done. Maybe you were there on a Saturday and the price wasn't right, and maybe a wee bit better on Tuesday. And you might have got word on Saturday you were getting them. But Herbie was a very decent wee man, and then he came to my granda's. He played Ludo down in my granda's as well, and Herbie and Mrs. Martin, they were very nice people.
Now, this is an old back lane down into a local farm just over the hedge from me, really. And the farmer over the hill here has a great wealth of information about the blacksmith shop and everything else, and he'll tell me it. But will he go on video? He says he's afraid of the press coming after him. So, down this lane, he tells me, Filson's, the blacksmith, came down on his bicycle to shoe horses in the farm here. And there was a gate across here at this pillar that's overgrown with ivy. And he had all the horseshoes and your nippers and stuff hanging on the bar of the bike, and a brave bit of weight on it. So he came down, whether it was dawn or dusk, I'm not sure, but anyway, the gate was across the lane here and he hadn't seen it. And he pranged into the gate with all the weight of horseshoes and stuff hanging on. So that's one little story. And as I say, that neighbour has a wealth of information, but he's very camera shy.